and to me. That he came to us when we couldn't get to him. That he reached down to save us when we could not save ourselves. That he made it possible to forgive us when we could not earn forgiveness on our own. Thank God for his love that chases us down and doesn't let anything stop it. Hey, we're going to look at an example of Jesus coming to people in the midst of a hard time today. Jesus rescuing someone who is sinking today. We're going to be in Matthew chapter 14, starting in verse 22. If that sounds familiar to some of you, it's because if you're reading the weekly Grow Plan, this was part of what you read this week. And a lot of you would be familiar with this story to some degree. It sometimes has a little subheader in your Bible that says Jesus walks on the water. But starting in verse 22, it says, Jesus had the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. And after he dismissed the crowd, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, think about how long Jesus was praying and how long they'd been on that water. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Then come," Jesus said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me!" And immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You have little faith. Why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. And then in the boat worshiped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Jesus had just fed thousands of people on a hillside. Evening had come. Jesus told his disciples to get in the boat, go across the lake. They did, and they were on the lake when a storm hit. And they struggled against that storm throughout the night. It's kind of a reminder that storms of all different kinds hit us, and they hit us at unexpected times in life. Now, sometimes they hit us because of our own choices and actions, right? We get in trouble and invite consequences into our lives through our stubbornness and our disobedience. Y'all have probably never done that, but I have. All right? Sin can stir up a storm. Stir up a storm. Just ask Jonah, right? God gives Jonah instructions for his life. Jonah's like, pass. Jonah went 180 degrees the other direction, got on a boat as if, God could find him on land but not on water. Boat and goes as far away from the direction that God sent him. And God sends a storm to chase him. Discovered quickly that you can't outrun God. By Jonah's stubbornness, by his disobedience, by his not listening to God, wanting to do things his way instead, he invited the storm into his life. And he continued to fight, continued to not listen, continued to be stubborn, until the storm almost killed him and other people that were around him.